Welcome to the Fantasy Pavilion, your home for fantasy sports.
Welcome, guys. Welcome back to the Fantasy Pavilion, your home for fantasy sport. And of course, it's Thursday, and we are here to discuss F1. We have Baku coming up. I'm having a bit of camera issues, but that's all right. We have some beautiful looking people on tonight. So, of course, we have Michael with the fresh
Big
cut. How
up.
you doing, bro? And of course, we have
Evening,
the
bro. Evening.
knowledgeable Adara passing through as well.
Hi,
Right? Thank you very
Dara.
much, guys, for coming through.
Hi.
So of course we have to discuss. We have a lot to discuss, but of course let's just quickly reflect and look back quickly on not necessarily look back on Monaco, but just let's quickly look at the standings right now and how things stand. So of course Max on top fairly this time. Just joking, just joking. So Max on top, 125. Charles Leclerc, 116. Sergio Perez, 110. And then a big gap to fourth place, right? Are we, based on what happens so far for the season, is this a fair reflection? This okay? I mean, of course, a certain team messed up a certain driver. But Adara, happy with what you're seeing so far?
Yeah, I think so. It's decent. I think it's a decent reflection. I don't know. Maybe.
Mikey Mike?
Yeah, I think it's decent enough. And you said it's a big gap, but I mean, it's really just 20 something, maybe to something, say at least something points. I could go in and had it. I wouldn't say it's a massive gap, but it is a gap nonetheless. But yeah, it's fairly reflective of where people are and how they're performing.
Is it safe to say three horse race or too soon yet? Too soon to start that kind of talk.
Mm, yeah, I think it's still
Mm-mm.
too soon to say three horse.
Yeah.
Ah, just
Because we
asking.
only at what, we pushing race number 7 or race
It is like it's six
number
or
8.
seven or
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
yeah.
it's around there.
Yeah.
um,
Then we have there's still a lot of racing to do, and reliability is going to play a factor at some point. So we're gonna see exactly as much as the drivers are performing, can the cars perform as well as them?
All right, solid. Let's of course. I like to look at the no this we need to look at the constructor standards. That and all is very interesting as well, and a fair reflection. This is definitely fine because big up Russell. Russell is the reason that Mercedes here
yeah.
right now. He is the correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna make a statement with the word only in it. Please correct me if I'm wrong. He is the only driver for this season that has finished in the top five because it's so far. Correct? Finish a race
Yeah,
top
I
five.
think
Correct.
Russell has been doing fairly well.
Yeah.
I don't even say fairly well. He's been doing really, really well. It's impressive.
Amazing.
Yeah.
For a man named Mr. Saturday, he has been
No, I think
phenomenal.
he did a phenomenal job in the Williams. It wasn't really a question of his talent. It was just like, can he perform in the Mercedes, which he's been doing. So
Good, yeah.
hats off to him. Yeah.
Yeah, solid. I'm really proud of him. All right, so let's get
He always had the
straight.
potential. He just needs to be in the right machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And some would say he still isn't.
That's a
You said
conversation.
it.
Are we
Yeah, that's
ready for that
exactly.
conversation?
Thank you, Adara. Adara's a mediator. Thank you, Adara. Thank you very much. So moving right along. So as you guys know, as you guys should know by now, most of you all viewers should not be noobs anymore. You all are now 6 races in. You all know that race days, the race weekend starts on Friday. And of course, we are in Azerbaijan this weekend. So, of course, practice one, 7 p.m. local time. Then Practice
At
2,
7
10 a.m. local
a.m.
time.
Meru.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, 10 a.m. local time. Practice 3 on the 11th, which will be Saturday, of course, 7 a.m. local time. And of course, qualifying, the most important part of the weekend for me, sometimes more than the race. I love it. Most action packed
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
And
totally
we
agreed.
and we saw how critical qualifying was for Monaco, especially because of the structure
Yeah,
of Monaco, right? It was crazy. But I wish we could do another watch along, Mikey. But 7 a.m.
Nah,
Wickedness.
that's too
But
early,
I
bro.
might be at Island Bay, guys. If anyone wants to pass through Island Bay at 7 a.m., I will be there. But we're not live
at
streaming. We're just
7 a.m.
yeah, yeah. Adara, let me tell you
I'm
something
in
about
my
me, right?
bed.
Let me tell you something about me, Adara. I remember there was a particular football World Cup, not this last one. I think the one before. Yes, the one that France won. The one that France won. There were games at 5 a.m. at 6:30 a.m. or some kind of crazy. I was in pub house at 5:30 a.m. watching.
I'm sorry. I'm
I don't know.
in bed with my laptop. That's how we do this.
Right.
Yeah, there with that dark.
Let's preview. Well, you guys, nah man, nah man. So let's
You're
preview.
built different, Jared. You're built
For the
different.
finals or something like that, sure. But for a race this early in the
It was a
season, it not worth it.
nah. I for it. Why I want
No.
to be amongst people who know their thing, man. I don't mind.
You
I
can
want the
text us. There's our phones, you can text us.
We could do a video call or something.
you
Yeah,
know you're gonna be sleeping all that small. You're gonna wake up 8 o'clock and about 20 laps and pass all kind of
that's
thing.
not true. That's not true.
So the first thing I observed when I was doing my research, I didn't get to do as much as I like to do. And sorry to be that guy. This looks like a key. Is this on purpose?
That's I actually after you said it, I watched it. I was like, damn, he's right. This really is a
Yeah,
key.
I didn't think about that until he said it like just a couple minutes ago, and I was like, yeah, it's true.
I
Yeah,
wanted
it's
to
like
look
one of
to
those
see if
old
there's a
school
history or
keys.
something. So
Yeah.
is this low key, a signal or something, a subliminal message? Right? I
I
don't
don't.
know.
I would say
Um
I don't know if it was on purpose, but it really does look like.
Now, what? So I'll go to Dara for Dara. What do we know about the Baku GP? What has history shown us? What is it? One of those popular ones or infamous ones for crashes, incidents? I mean, not don't just encompass
Mm.
last year because last year had a few things well, but what do we know about Baku?
I think with Baku, you can always expect an incident, an accident, or something like really interesting, like a collision to happen.
Mm,
Not in reference of last year, but I did mention before, like I was talking to Jared and I was telling him about that time when Max and Daniel crashed.
Hmm.
And it was kind of like, oh, that's team rivalry. And then he had it again where, like, last year, a team rivalry happened again where Max was out and Perez, the second driver, was on the podium. And so there's a time for, I think Azerbaijan is a really nice Grand Prix. It's one of my favorites because I am a fan of street races as well. And I think this is our last street race. So I'm going to savor this one. Um, but yeah, I think due to like I think the narrowness of the track as well, that often plays a part in it. I think you have some corners where it could be a little tricky. And you see it over time. Like there's certain places where every driver, you could catch them there. So yeah. Everybody
And that
here has a place where they're weary, and yeah,
yeah, that particular section is corners 8, 9, 10. They call it the castle section.
yeah.
Um, Charles went into their head first that time. I think that's where he said the iconic statement, "I am stupid. I am
I am
stupid."
super. Yeah, that came from Azerbaijan.
yeah.
Azerbaijan, yeah, at corners 8, 9, 10, they call it the castle section. It's very narrow, very tight. They
Yeah,
have proper car control during there, else you will end up in the wall and your race will be over.
Hmm.
yeah.
Right. So let me just read out some obvious stats, and then Michael, you do your lovely track breakdown that you do first. Right? So of course, as you can see, 2016 was first Grand Prix, 51 laps. So we get in a short race. Phew! Finally, and this one might be the boring one because I find all the long races were amazing, right?
We just told you you could expect collisions and crashes, and you're
Right.
like, this
No,
might be the boring one.
no, someone amongst us was like, Spain is the real boring normally boy. Spain is the real boring boy. And Spain was lit. I enjoyed Spain. So I don't know. I don't
Spain
know,
is like middle ground. It's middle ground. It's either or. Okay, hit
but
or miss.
I shouldn't judge you based on what Michael said there. If you say it's excitement, then fine. I'm taking your word for it. Right? But as a certain person I say that. So of course, circuit length 6.003 kilometers. The lap record was held by Charles Leclerc, right? 1.143. So beautiful from him. They race distance 306. So talk to us about this key now, Michael. What are the key factors of this race?
So the key factors, the start finish rate is very wide. Like you could probably get 4 or 5 cars wide on the start finish rate. So it's very wide. So you're gonna get a lot of overtakes, especially as it's a DRS zone.
Mm.
Turn one, turn two, and turn three are all 90-degree corners. So they're fairly quick. Um, Daniel Ricciardo had a beautiful pass into turn one at a time when he took 3 guys on the inside late braking into the corner. There's a massive runoff area at the end of turn one, so you might see a lot of guys overshooting the corner trying to carry too much speed. So it won't put on
Which if he
would not punish them. So it may not punish them there too much. Turn one, turn two, turn three, all fairly forgiven. And from turn four is when the drama will start. 'Cause that's where we get into the narrow sections of the track. And it's quite quick. And then it is where
big
going
up,
to
Rob.
be
Big up, Rob. Sorry to interrupt you, Michael. Big up, Rob. Thanks for coming through, Rob.
welcome.
How you going, bro?
Hey Jared, hey Michael, how are you guys?
Good to
Good, bro.
go, man. Good to go. I have some camera issues, so you handsome guys and handsome ladies have to run this show, and we now breaking down the race track here. So, Michael, go ahead. But before you go, Michael, I was watching a run through last year with Sergio Perez. Perez was driving. And those
Mm-hmm.
corners, my goodness, they're worse than a Paramount drive. My goodness, I was watching those corners because, and then too, it was a bit tricky. Like you remember in Monaco, I think it was Sonoda. Sonoda went straight when he was supposed to turn. I was watching
Mm-hmm.
some of the turns in Azerbaijan, and they look like straights, but they're not straights. They're turns, and
Yeah.
it's going to be very
Yeah,
interesting, very very interesting. And they look
I
like
think it's gonna
straights, but
challenge
they're
them.
not
Oh,
straight.
sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
swing
gonna
through here,
say,
Michael.
this looks kind of challenging as well physiologically from the physiological standpoint. Um, so like with the forces are gonna be on them, pulling them and pushing them. So I'm really excited to see how their trainers condition them for this weekend.
Yeah, Michael, run us through again. So we reached turn four there, I believe.
All right. So turn four, and that's when it's getting into the narrower sections. You're gonna have. I don't know if you see any red, what you said, but you might find somebody being brave. So we head into five, then six, seven. You might get somebody fighting through there. And then with these newer cars, they're probably gonna follow a lot closer. So going through, as I said, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's really tight. It's a tight section. It's a fairly quick section. They go through there around maybe around 20 or a little slower than that. So it's still fairly quick. All is very tight. And then we head down to turn 13, 14, 15. These are corners, but not really corners in a F1 car. So you'll hardly see them braking. It'll be more so lifting off. Into turn 15, you might have heavy braking there, for you might try see somebody trying to send it up the inside. Same thing for turn 16, 17 is a kink, so it'll probably be flat out. Turn 18, probably lift off and coast through the corner, as well as the same for 19, and then it'll be foot down all the way from 19 all the way to the end of the finish straight into turn one. So it's gonna be very fast. You're gonna have a lot of overtakes there, I think, with these newer cars being able to follow with DRS, especially being there. It's gonna be pretty interesting up on the street. Something to note about the streets and about Baku, because it's a street circuit. The dag on the tires are quite high. Last year we had 2 people, Stroll and Verstappen, having tire blowouts, ending their races. Stroll had a heavy crash into the wall. I think it was between turn 19 and turn 20, and then Verstappen zone was on the start finish straight after turn 20, and those brought out yellow flags or yeah, I think it was either yellow or red flags. I can't remember. Or safety car or red flag. I can't remember which one it was, but definitely during this race you're gonna have a safety, at least one safety car, possibly a red flag, something comical to bring up.
To make a
There was a
meme
safety car.
out of, we have a lot of memes coming out of this. I hoping. But safety first, guys.
Hope so too. Safety first. And then it's something funny to mention is like because of a street circuit, um you have rubber on the road, but it's probably not as much as you would have on a racetrack, especially on the racing line. So getting temperature in your tires and making sure your tires work is important. And at the time when the safety car, I think it was Grosjean, he was trying to get temperature into his tires and he actually crashed under the safety car. And then he tried to blame it on somebody else. Um, so that's something to note too. That's pretty iconic around the track, but it's a nice track. It'll be a fun, interesting race. So yeah.
All right, let's get Rob into it. So, Rob, from a fantasy perspective, and based on the information you just got there, who looking good for this weekend, Rob? How we looking?
Man, I think Max is the name on everyone's lips heading into Baku with that streak coming up. 10 points if he makes the top 10 in his pocket, which he most likely will if he doesn't blow out another wheel. I think Charles is obviously another favorite for everyone. He had a couple of unlucky runs recently, but he'll be the favorite for turbo driving this weekend. The usual suspects in Valtteri and K-Mag to enable the squad, I think, are going to be pretty popular too. So it really comes down to, how you want to build your team around Max, if that's the angle you want to go for, which is where I'm leaning at the moment. But my budget's, I think at around 105.8, 105.9. So I'd love to have Norris in there, but I think I just miss out. So the other options, I think, if you can afford, are like a Sainz, or if you're not going the Max route, then it's Red Bull constructor, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, Bottas. So, yeah, look, if you don't have Max in your team, you obviously, like Sam says, you're hoping he blows out another wheel. But I think this is the first weekend that will really split a lot of the managers, a lot of the players, because that template of Red Bull, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc has been pretty popular until now. So don't be surprised to see a few people that go with the Max angle. I'm still not decided, but I should be taking tips from Sam. He's 5.7 overall. I'm down in the 140s because I was so bad to start the year off, but made up some ground now. So what do you guys think? Any other people to keep an eye on?
Well, I know that really pretty much the fantasy, right, aspect like us. But Michael, what you looking like?
I would say Leclerc, because Leclerc finished fourth last year in a mediocre Ferrari. So I would definitely say Leclerc has potential of being up there in the top three as usual. So I'd actually build my team around him as opposed to Max. One out of personal vendetta against Max, bad mine. But also two, he's a great driver. Yes, he could probably win this race. He probably might. And yes, fantasy is fantasy, but I'm still not ready to say fantasy is fantasy and put him on my team. So I would say Leclerc. Norris finished fifth last year, so let's see what FP1, FP2 gives us and see if the McLaren could perform. Azerbaijan is usually a fairly warm track, so I'm really not too sure how that McLaren is going to perform. Monaco, I think they were okay. So it's another street circuit, sorry. So you could probably put a McLaren in there if it is you can afford Norris. Put him in. Last year Alonso did well, he came sixth, as well as Gasly did well here last year. Gasly finished third on the podium last year, so I think Gasly is a good sub if it is you want to take out K-Mag and put in Gasly if you could afford it, or even Bottas. Sub him for one of those two. But definitely, I think if it is you have a Russell, keep Russell in, because he's probably going to finish again in the top 5 or the top 10 at least. So yeah, I would go around, as opposed to doing a Max focus team, I'd do a Leclerc focus team. And take that route. As a constructor wise, I would say yeah, stick with either one of the Red Bulls or the Ferraris as a constructor.
What
Mm,
about what about it's there's a new segment as well. I don't know if you all saw that. There's a new pick for this weekend. I don't know if you all saw it.
What's that?
Safety car, Alonso, right? We had a pick. Safety car, Alonso. Oh my goodness, Adaro, what you thought about that, Adaro? Brilliant or
um,
just evil?
I was evil. It
Or
was really
brilliantly
evil.
evil?
Both, yeah. Okay, yeah. We can go with brilliantly evil.
Nah, the
Mm.
man is petty. That man holding a grudge since 2007, you know. Since
So
2007, Alonso holding a grudge against Hamilton, you know.
who are who was
Yeah, quite possibly.
who was Adara? You watch this from a nice perspective, right? Who was somebody good mid tier? I know you don't play fantasy, but just from your perspective, who was somebody like the middle range guys you think that we should be looking at and considering? Who you think have a good chance in
I
Baku,
think
specifically for Baku?
it depends on who you look at as mid,
Yeah.
Anyone that's
because
probably not Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, right?
yeah. So I was thinking, usually so I support Red Bull and
Well,
I am
Lewis
a
is mid
Max
right now,
fan,
eh?
but yes, but I do support AlphaTauri a lot, and so Pierre is a good option if you're looking at middle, and then you do have Lewis, and you have Lewis because okay, if we look at his performance, that's a fair statement to say that he's in the middle ground right now. They have um guys is Ocon up pretty deep.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
biased, so I don't want to
Ocon's
say
driven
Yeah.
pretty
anything.
well, hasn't he?
I think we all forget him, but I kind of like Ocon a little bit. I think
Yeah.
he makes some questionable choices sometimes, but he's good. He's a decent driver.
Yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy.
Yeah. So maybe Ocon. Who else we got? I'm very scared to say Danny Rick because I'm not sure
No,
about
Mm,
that.
Danny's bottom
Very
tier right now.
scared there. But
mm-mm,
yeah,
mm-mm,
he's
mm-mm.
he has not been performing.
At all,
So, yeah,
whatsoever.
As an
exactly.
Aussie, it really hurts me to see man Danny struggle. It's not great considering we know what he's
Fine, that's
capable of as
okay.
well.
Well,
I think he has
well,
not been the same as he has been from like the Monaco weekend. I'm not sure how that happened, but that was as best as we're gonna get for a while. I think McLaren itself needs some help.
That's an understatement.
Okay, I was kind of scared. I was like, should I say that? But yeah,
but
no,
I
they
mean,
need
to
help.
be go
Um,
ahead, go ahead. Mm,
I think Lando can be a good option. I mean, he
mm-hmm,
performs with what he gets, and
mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm.
team kind of favors him also more because of his performance, which is understandable, I think. But yeah, those are my picks.
Yeah. And Rob, mid tier picks. So
Yeah,
we know the super guys. Who are the mid guys that could come in here and help us out?
I mean, you guys have already touched on Ocon. I think Gasly. I've talked Gasly into existence this year. I said he's bound for good luck. He's bound for a podium where he just hasn't had it so far. I think he had a good quali. Was it Spain or was it Monaco? I think it was Monaco, and he. I think it's hopefully a sign of things to come because he is, one of the top drivers on his day on the grid and just hasn't really had that luck so far. So for me, he's one to keep an eye on. Norris as well. I think he's only going to go from strength to strength as well. So I think they're my two at the moment. There's no one else that really stands out to me. Again, Alonso is probably due for some luck after that, after a few DNFs, and he just it's the usual suspects that we know what they're capable of. We just haven't seen the results so far. So they're probably my picks at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. I think the season is just like getting started with them. They'll fall into place soon, hopefully. That's hopeful. Hopeful.
Now, this this particular no, I think we how much more gain we have? Not too blah, 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 blah. No, I think I heard people saying that right after this race, now that this is a street race, right? And after this, now we're gonna get I don't wanna say normalcy, but they were saying that Canada and some of those other tracks are a bit more straightforward. Um
Hmm.
what they mean by that? Why they saying that? Why some come because a lot of like F1 podcasts and stuff are saying, don't worry, when Baku passes, then everything will get to normal and that kind of thing. Why are they saying that?
Yeah, because the rest of the circuit is an actual street, the actual racetracks. So it's a bit more conventional. These cars
Oh,
were built around these tracks and that kind of thing. So it's Canada. Canada has been on the calendar for the past, what, 5+ years.
Mm.
Um,
mm,
so they have a lot of data at these tracks. These street circuits, a lot of them are fairly new, so they'll have as much data. I mean, with these new cars, nobody have any set of data on how the new cars will perform there. But you're coming up to these other tracks that are tested and proven. You know them inside and out. They hardly ever change. Um, with street circuits, the road might have been bad in December. They might have had a flood or a hurricane, and they decide to pave over part of the road. Things change. A street circuit, I mean, sorry, an actual circuit. These things do happen. Like, think Silverstone got resurfaced in 2018 or 2019. It's been the same piece of asphalt since, with cars running on it every other weekend. So it's well rubbered in. Um, so the other circuits is gonna give you more conventional racing. The drivers will be a lot more comfortable racing on them. You have a bit greater margin for error, meaning to say they make a mistake, they're not gonna end up in a wall. They might end up in a gravel trap, but I mean it's not the end of the world unless you're Carlos Sainz. Um, so yeah, I think a lot of people, especially drivers, might be looking forward to the circuits coming up, simply because of the predictability of the tracks, and then their conventional, them being very conventional, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really looking forward to Spa. I mean,
Mm,
that's not for a few races. That's that's not until August, but I'm really looking forward to that. Silverstone's always a good race. Last year was really entertaining.
yep.
Um, if you're not a Max Verstappen fan, but
Plenty Java.
yeah, I think you make a great point though, Michael. It's going to be a few really good races, and the way things have kind of played out so far this season on a lot more of the traditional circuits, I think we're in for a treat.
Yep.
for sure.
Because it's Canada, Great Britain, Austria, France, Hungary, Belgium, Netherlands, Italy. That's all actual circuits. That's what, 8 races of normal track, and then we reach to Singapore in October, which is another street circuit. So you still have one more, Dara, to love
Yeah,
off.
I was looking at that. Yeah.
And then we have Japan. Japan wasn't on the calendar last year, so it's great to be going back to Japan. And then
Japan
all
is
the United
the
States.
Suzuka track, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Japanese Grand Prix. I think it's a Suzuka this year. Yeah,
Right.
I think COVID stopped us from going last year, so yeah.
Is Singapore back on the calendar this year? I can't remember.
Yeah, October.
Yeah, Singapore is back. And it's
Yeah.
in
But
October.
September, October, yeah. 30th of September, 2nd of October.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
haven't had a race there since 2019. I actually went through Singapore over the new year, and the race just to check out the track. Did a track walk by myself. There was nothing up. It was good to check it out, but it'll be good to go back there because that's obviously a pretty entertaining night race as well.
It is. It is.
For sure.
Oh, and it was 8 a.m.
And here the wild part about it. The lap record, which is 2018, was the last time they raced there. It's held by K-Mag.
Really?
That's random.
So,
Maybe
no, well, it
he
is,
can
but
defend his honor this year.
we gonna see. We gonna see.
Okay, man has broken my heart this season, Rob. You know that.
Yeah, you started
but
off well. You dropping off
let's
now.
let's get into this. I know Adara might abstain, but let's get into this segment. Adara, sorry, I'm a sports person, and we have to do this, right? Have
I'm
to.
actually leaving you now.
I know that, but see, perfect timing because I know you don't like this segment. But Dara, thanks so much for coming through.
No
And of course,
problem.
send your private messages normal, and I'll send your comments through as always, right? Thanks very much.
No problem. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
So, Let me just. Oh, wrong thing.
I
Wow.
mean, I can talk World Cup.
So much things on my mind, my Rob boy. Right.
Kegs.
Podium in. Rob, go first. Who's gonna podium? 3, 2, 1.
I had this discussion with a couple of my good friends over at a podcast last night, an F1 podcast, the Lock Up podcast. Check them out if you guys have anyone listening has a spare 30 minutes in their day. And my picks were number one, Max. I think I just can't go past the Red Bull straight line speed, and that back straight coming across the finish line is just he'll eat that up pretty much. So yeah, he's a runaway favorite for me this weekend. I think number two, Charles. He's due for. I mean, he'd probably prefer first, to be honest, but I can't really see first and second being either of those two at the moment. Assuming Ferrari can get their race strategy in order. And then my third, a bit of a roughie, because I know Mercedes are a little slower on some of those straights. Not the fastest car on the grid by any means, but I said George Russell in third. I don't think he'd be everyone's pick for third place, but let's just see how he goes. He's had what, 2 podiums so far this season. So, yeah, I think third place could be a number of different drivers, but George is my pick at the moment.
All right, love it. Mikey?
I would say
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. I
no,
know
it's not tricky. It's not tricky in all honesty. I want to say Max first, Leclerc second.
Oh,
and
yeah, through
actually
burnt you
give,
saying that. Okay, I understand.
yeah, and I Perez too, because I think the Bulls will qualify well and it will do well. I see signs being so many top 5, but I don't see him being on the podium. So I honestly think it might be a Max, Leclerc, Perez, or I might even say Leclerc, Max, Perez, meaning to say Leclerc wins. So it's in all honesty, first place is really between Leclerc and Max. Or maybe it's one of those crazy races whereby they're battling hard, they crash into each other, and then Lewis comes and steals it. And boom! But I don't see that happening. So I would say Leclerc, Max, Perez. That's my final.
Okay.
That's my final.
Jared, who's your pick?
So I'm going cheeky here, real cheeky. I am actually seeing Perez going back first again, right? I seen a Perez first. I'm gonna be boldface and say Perez, Sainz, Russell. That's what I'm seeing this weekend.
Perez, Sainz, Russell.
I
What
know.
happens to Max and Charles?
No.
You just basically call all the number 2s.
The same thing that Michael is predicting. I have a very bad feeling, and I don't. The last time I had this feeling, Max DNF. I have a feeling. But no, you see, the thing is, no, the reason, there's a bit of logic behind it. The reason I say Perez, I think Max and Charles are going to go so hard for it. Even if they don't crash or anything, something minor will happen. And this track, it has a few straights, it's looking decent, and I think Perez is very solid on those kind of tracks. He's good at defending. Russell, again, nice straight track, something streamlined for him. I can see him holding his own in a third place, a solid third place. And I just a personal thing for me. I want Sainz to go get a podium now and stop playing the fool. Come on, start racing harder and do something. So that was just a personal in there for me. But Perez 1, Russell and Russell 2, I seeing that I can see that happening because how the track is laid out and because of how they race. And to me, Russell is great at defending in that third place, fourth place kind of thing. I could even see Lewis finishing pretty high too, but Russell is the man for me.
No, this is a track that Lewis is good at, so it's not impossible because I honestly believe I agree with you that something could happen to Charles and Max. Either they crash into each other, they crash on their own, or something like that. We can't forget that Leclerc has had problems here before, but last year he did well. So that's it. It's not impossible. So I can understand why it is he make that judgment.
Yeah. I just wanna shout out Sham Shivers. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate this up, bro. Hope you enjoy the content. We do everything: F1, IPL, CPL coming up, football, everything. World Cup. Right?
Robin, the
Thanks so
comments is
much, man.
saying Gasly for back-to-back podium in Baku.
Yeah, I do like him. I don't
That
know.
will be lit. I'm mega driving him. And let's mega drive him together, Rob. What you say? No, turbo. Let's turbo drive him, Rob. Let's turbo drive him together, Rob. What you say? Turbo drive packed.
Oh, mate, I have to get Gasly in my team first to do that.
Well,
So
you was only you're doing 3 teams, correct?
no, I only want the one. I only wanted to focus on one. Next year I'll do 3, but
Oh, well then okay. Because I was going to tell you on the team 3, let's turbo drive him together.
yeah, I'll do the differential team and
Yeah.
the team the cash grab team and just trade for money and nothing else.
Right. Now, next year, right? We'll make some packs. Next year. So, this is I have not done anything yet. This is from since last weekend.
Monaco.
So, of course, I have a lot of work and some fine tuning to do. As you can see, I too much.
Yeah, that was dotish.
Schumacher was going good. No, but he was going good though. He was going so good, and then
Boy,
he
cat
qualified.
in half.
He qualified, and then right, but so I mean, you know me, I like these kind of weird picks, and they always come true. Sometimes they don't. But it's F1. F1's so unpredictable. My McLaren shot constructor was a decent shout, but you can't go wrong with Red Bull obviously because Red Bull doing really well right now. But what you would change in my team 1, team 2, team 3, Rob? What blaring at you?
I think if I was, I mean, your team, I have in team 1, I potentially have 3, maybe 4 of those assets in Max, Kevin, Charles, and Albon. If I go with a Red Bull constructor, it's I think we've talked about this before, and I guess the interesting thing for me, I know Jared, you said you like to use your constructor as like your EPL or FPL goalkeeper, but
Like a goalkeeper, but yes.
yeah, I actually think, for me, I'm probably the constructor would probably be the first person or the first asset I pick every week, and it's for me a toss up between Red Bull and Ferrari depending on the circuit. I think McLaren, if Danny Rick could find some form and they're pushing for podiums, I don't think they're a bad shout, but it's hard for me to jump at them right at the moment if there's only one, solid choice to carry the team. But I mean, I like the rest of the team actually. I think Perez and Max, double Red Bull's excellent. And Charles is, yeah, Charles and Perez, it's good to have, both options to turbo drive. So I think that's pretty good there. What's your budget, out of curiosity, for Team 1? Do you know?
No. Hold on. I do not know offhand. Hold on. I could bring it up.
102. Yeah, so you've got plenty of money to play around with, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, up to you.
If I were trying to get Albon out of there and see if you can get someone a little better than Albon.
Albon's probably the one, either Albon or McLaren. Like, it depends if you want to upgrade your constructor or go deep on the constructor and upgrade your driver.
The problem with that is they don't give me much options, you see. Like if I get rid of them, I don't have much options. Yeah.
No, but if it is you got rid of McLaren and you choose Alpine or Alfa Romeo, you can still get some decent points, and then you go heavy on a different driver. So if it is you went Alpine, because after McLaren, I think the next top team is Alpine. I think Alpine is the 5th place constructor right now.
Yeah, let's have a look. We know who the top 3 are. Then
I think McLaren is 4th.
McLaren, then Alfa Romeo, and then Alpine.
Yeah, so I would actually say Alfa Romeo. And then you get rid of Albon, simply because we know he's hardly likely going to be in it. Well, I mean, he's done it twice before and ended up in the points. But I think you're much better if it is by dropping that. You pull a Bottas, a lot safer.
Yeah.
And if it is you switch things, you're gonna be able to afford a Bottas. So a Vettel actually podium here last year.
Oh wow! Hear that name he called, Rob? Hear that name, Vettel.
Yeah,
and
he's doing better.
Yeah, he is. He
Yeah. He has improved.
he's got a great record at Baku. Actually, I think he's had 2 second places and a third and 2 fourths in his 5 drives there. So, I mean, if you're looking at historical performance
Mhm.
alone, he's got a better record than Max, who's had 3 DNFs at Baku. So, I'm not saying Vettel's
Very
a better
unlucky.
driver. I'm not saying that at all, but I am saying that, he's got one of the better records going around, and, that can't count for nothing.
So turbo drive battle. That's what you're saying. Like going fit. Come on, guys. You can't
I
be
would
so
say,
shy. You gotta
I
go
would say,
fit, Rob.
I would say put him on a team. I ain't know about turbo drive. Like I feel like I could put a Vettel in my team if it is that I try to go heavy on some drivers.
You're too coward, You're too coward, man. You gotta go fit, man.
It's not coward as our playing smart, because turbo drive gives you what, twice as much as double
I mean,
points.
yeah, I think the majority are going Charles or Checo almost every week.
Yeah, exactly,
See,
because
Rob,
it doesn't make
Rob,
sense to think.
Rob, Michael doesn't play FPL, so that's why you don't understand the risk.
I play FPL.
Michael doesn't play FPL, so he
Right.
doesn't understand the whole, like, I captain Pookie a few times.
The differential.
He doesn't know, and you're frightened, but when it come off. I remember I went against Salah for the rest of the season. I went Son, so that's why that's bravery in him, because you gotta go for it, because you never know what could happen. You never
True.
know. And
It's
just take it on the chin.
It's harder, I think, to win the TD if you're not going for a big hitter, because of just how rare, those mid-table teams are getting podiums.
Actually end up on top, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, more often than not, it's going to be a mixture of Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes on the podium, and maybe, a McLaren or an Alpine sprinkled in between. But it's there's just so many weapons in FPL. So you could choose anyone from Son to Salah to Mane to KDB, whereas I think you're really stuck with only 1 or 2 clear options in F1 fantasy, which is a bit of a difference there, I think.
Yeah. And the variance in F1 in terms of like because it's not just one, it's different tracks. None of the tracks are made equal. It's so much things, and the cars are new, so there's a lot to factor in, and that's why it's 3 teams. Might as well try and make each team differently. That's why I'm trying my best not to have 2 of the same drivers on the same team. But it's so tough to. There's only 20 guys to spread 3 teams across,
True.
But
And they're still trying to be competitive.
Yeah.
I think next year, when I have 3 teams going, I'll definitely have my team 1 as obviously the team I want to score the highest with, and then team 2 could be my cash cow team, where I'm just trading for money each week, and then team 3, like you say, Jared, could be that differential team where I'm turbo driving, an Ocon or a Norris every week, rather than the big picks
or Latifi.
It actually, team 1 was my main team. Team 2 was my whatever player around with team, and team 3 was just a whatever, I feel like what you would call a differential. And after the differential paid off a week, I was like, okay, team 3 is now the main. Team 3 is now the main, and team 2 is doing fairly well, but it's still my player around with to see, okay, this is what's working or what's not working, and then team 1 is still there fighting for points. But team 3 is my main right now.
Before we go, we spoke about the mid guys. What about the low tier guys? If someone is in a bit of a rut and needs someone cheap, who's the best cheap asset you think they should add in for this particular race?
I would
K-Mag.
say K-Mag, yeah. K-Mag is at the top of the list.
I fully agree.
He's had some pretty bad races recently, though. Like, he obviously got all the attention at the start of the season with that 5th place, and then he was in the points in his second race too, I think. But looking at his scores for the
he starts to drop.
Yeah, he's had a -6, a -1, a 2. He had 18 at Monza, and then a 6 in Australia. So it's not exactly amazing.
Points,
Not setting
yeah.
the world on fire.
Yeah.
But I guess he is the cheapest, right?
Yeah.
He's
He
even
is
cheaper than Latifi.
cheapest. Yeah, and he performs better than a Latifi on average. He's cheaper than and performs better than. That's why we would call him the best
That's right.
bottom. After him, I'd actually put Albon as a good bottom. After Albon, maybe Schumacher and then Latifi. Matter of fact, I would go Kimag, Guan Yu Zhou, and then Albon.
You go, Joe.
Simply because Guan Yu Zhou is in better machinery and his ability is not. He's not as experienced as Albon, but he's just simply in better machinery. So he's usually has a better chance of getting his foot in the door, as they say, to scrape a 10th place or something like that.
Yeah, if it wasn't for his DNS, if you take those two out of the equation, he's had scores of 14, 10, 9, 8, and 10. So
yeah,
it's not bad. He's, I think, again, like a number of other drivers, is due for a turn of luck. And I'm sure that will start soon enough. But, did you guys happen to catch him being pumped, his price pumped during the week by those bot accounts? He flew up like 0.4 million.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have heard about it much, but there's this, whoever it is, I think Hackerman is the name that people have termed. This guy has created like 50,000 fake F1 fantasy accounts. Is trading in Joe to boost his price and boost his team value.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys, you haven't got him in any of your teams, Jared. But
No.
But he's gone up like 0.4 this week and hasn't scored well for like a month. And then Stroll is another one who's also being pumped a little bit. He went up 0.3 in the last few days, and he's just looking at his scores. It's not exactly inspiring either, like 10, 8, 11. So yeah, this guy is, whoever it is just pretty much like not ruining the game, but
trolling a bit. Yeah,
he's pretty much taking advantage of the trade sentiment to. Yeah, Sam's obviously going, Hackerman is the market. He isn't just part of the market. He owns the market. So he's pretty much like, for those people that don't have those assets that fly up, you can obviously, you feel a bit hapless. But, on wildcard, I know Sam's on wildcard this week. I'm on wildcard this week. It's just coincidental that these assets have been boosted. So you can jump on those. So
what exactly happens when you wildcard?
So you get 12 trades a week. So ordinarily, if you're not on wildcard, you get 6, but the first 3 are free. Every trade after that is -10. Right. On wildcard, you get 12 trades a week, and they're all free. So the point of wildcard is
if you want to shake up your entire team from constructor to driver.
That's right. But even if you wanted to do that, you'd only need 6 trades to trade out your entire team and trade it. So
and suffer 30-point loss, but in a game this close, 30 points is plenty.
Yeah. But I guess with 12 free trades that don't have any hits, you can easily trade for the price swings during the week. And that's what Sam and I have done. We've traded for Joe. We've traded for Stroll, who just went up again like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, so right now you're all trading to inflate the cost of your teams.
Say again.
So right now you're all trading to build the cost of your teams.
Yeah. You pretty much want to use those trades to build your team value. And I've gained probably an extra $1 million in team value, or maybe a bit less than that this week. And it's unfortunate that for people not on wildcard that miss out on it, but it's just a fluke that it happened this week. Like there was obviously no method to how people just got lucky. So ideally, and this was probably in hindsight, if Hackerman wasn't part of the game, I probably would have used my wildcard in the first week or two. That's when the most players are active. That's when the most trades happen.
Right.
And the most price rises occur. So that would be for anyone who's starting fantasy F1, you use your wild card in weeks 1 or 2 and take advantage of those price rises, and you wouldn't just because that's when it's best used. Hopefully, Hackerman isn't here next year, and you don't have to worry about these random increases with no method.
Because
and then that's wise too, because after the first race, so maybe the first 2 races, you then get a better gauge. Okay, these are the top contenders for the season. So if it is you got it wrong when this is your first choose, you have a chance now. Well, you wild card it and then you just put it into order as to who actually have a chance this season.
Who has what? Sorry.
Pardon me?
What did you say? Who has what?
I was like, so based on your suggestion there to use your wild card like in the first 2 to 3 weeks, let's say between the first to third race, that's good advice, because if it is you made your picks based on past years, and it turns out that okay, Mercedes is the top dogs, but look, like, so let's take this season for example. You put your constructor as Mercedes all the way because you say it's Mercedes. You put Lewis, you put thing, and then boom, season started, and then you realize, bam, now Ferrari is the team, Leclerc, and that's be wild and say Haas was real quick too, or Alpha. You use your wild cards so that you can just switch out the entire team and make it more realistic as to what is happening on track as opposed to what you thought would work.
Yeah, that's pretty much spot on. I think the flexibility that the wild card allows means you can chop and change exactly who you want, and if you time it right, the prices too. So I was pretty unlucky at the start of the season. I wasn't as proactive with trades, and I didn't have Charles, and he obviously had back-to-back wins, so flew up in price.
Yeah.
Or was it 2 wins in the first 3? Whatever it was, he flew up in price, and I probably caught him at 18.6 or 18.7, and if you had him from the start, that's a quick 0.7 you've made right off the bat. So it probably requires a little bit of foresight, but if you time it right and you know how to kind of manage the price movements in the market, then you should be fine.
Yeah, solid.
It's
all right. Was that Robert? Go Robert? Was that?
I was just gonna say it's maybe an art form.
Yeah, no, it is fantasy, but you have to. As much as you'll see me doing differentials, there's a reason I like to pick certain guys. But again, you have to know the track and the. But it is an art. It is an art. Everything has its own method, And but thankfully we don't have to worry about stats versus grassroots and all that, Rob. We can just enjoy.
Yeah.
Right. We don't have those issues. I was going to make a live transfer quicker, but I wouldn't lie to you. Honestly, I cool with this, and I think I want to be patient for this one for Baku. I want to see how the street circuit goes with some of these guys. And I'm good with McLaren because McLaren is above your suggestions, and I think I'm good with this pretty well for me at least. I mean, because to get what I've realized with F1, obviously, it's not like FPL or even cricket. You have to be a little patient because, again, as Michael predicted or said, Leclerc and Max going hard at it. Something could happen. You never know. The next thing, Latifi left alone and come up and get third or second or something. Alonso bring his safety car and this again. It just so I don't like to make. I made these changes last week for Monaco. I like to let's see what they do again for one more race. That's how I like to play it so far. Sometimes it works. Obviously, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm gonna be a little patient just for this race, and then when the proper circuit start, I will bring in some of the guys. Maybe even bring in Lewis. That will make Michael smile. I might even consider Lewis. Maybe.
Yeah, do it.
Right?
Do it.
Right.
Like do it for the British Grand Prix. He always has luck at the British Grand Prix. So for British Grand Prix, I'm probably gonna put him in at least 2 of my 3 teams.
And unrelated, I saw something on Twitter. I don't know if it's true. Is it true that he really got honorary citizenship from Brazil? Is that true?
He did.
Oh wow, that was nice. That was nice. That was really nice. Yeah, boy. Wow.
So he's a knight in one country and an honorary citizen in the next.
Yeah, crazy. And he's Grenadian-ish. Crazy.
Well, he's Canadian grandparentage.
I was saying Ish. That was it. Ish.
And he has, I would say, Monegasque citizenship because all of them live in there for the past 5 years. So these men just all over.
Yeah, big up Sam. Yeah. Everyone going to Master's facility. Yeah, everyone going there. True. Forget me. I agree. We do have to. It's a better drivers out there, Sam. Sam, I want to thank you for coming through the comments. But thanks, Rob. Rob, what time was it across there in the States? What time was it there? The same time as
It's
us?
almost 8:30 in New York.
Oh, okay. Same as
Yeah,
us.
exact
Same
same
as us.
time,
Same
yeah.
as us.
Same time
Same
as AST, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
on the same time zone. I want to thank you guys for coming through, guys. All the best for the weekend. Happy picking. I hope that your turbo driver finishes first, unless it's right. And and may your mega driver come out on top. I hope your wild card works out for you as well. And I may do a special league. I was trying to do weekly leagues. I might put out one, so I'll send the code up for this one for Baku, so we can start a Baku league
Cool.
and we go from there. Guys,
Awesome.
please don't forget like, share, subscribe. You might see me 7 a.m. at Island Bay, but just on Instagram Live. I might get up 7 a.m. and be there again. They were great hosts. Shout out to Dwayne for having us last week. It was awesome. Well, week before I should say. And again, yeah. So guys, great. Thanks, Sham. Thanks for coming through. Good. Thanks for keeping us company in the comments. We love when people come and chat in the comments and are active. So thanks so much, Sam. I know Rob brought you, so Rob, thanks for ringing, Sam. And yeah. I appreciate it so much, and we'll see you guys in the next one, guys. Sam, anything? Rob, sorry, before you go, any closing remarks, Michael? Anything?
No, it's been an awesome stream. Thanks for coming through, Sammy,
Yeah,
and thanks for having me, Michael and Jared.
Of course, anytime, Rob. We always have time for you, right? So
Definitely.
hopefully we'll get we hoping to get another race soon that's at a godly hour, not this 7 a.m. We want a midnight or something, Rob, so we could do a live watch along. Right? Hopefully soon we can do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Very keen for
Right.
it.
So guys, be safe out there and don't
Canada is
forget
a good
like.
one. Canada is 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
And
well,
then 2
we
o'clock in
Canada
the
just
afternoon.
now. Yeah, we can do
Yeah,
that,
Canada
Rob.
is 2
2
o'clock in
a.m.
the afternoon. No, 2
We can do that,
p.m.
Rob. We can do that, Rob. 2 p.m. for us, right? 2 p.m. for us?
Yeah, 2 p.m.
Right.
for
Bam.
in New York
Canada
League.
watch
We have
along,
our
right?
afternoons. Yeah.
All right, guys. So take care and be safe out there, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We're trying our best to push a lot of content out for you guys. We're going to be doing some transfer shows as well very soon for FPL. Rob, if you want to jump in on those in between or give some insight, trying to look at the transfers that were made so far and how they could impact the future for the season coming up very soon. And of course, I will be pushing a lot of Mitrovic propaganda on Twitter very soon as well. So see you guys. Take care, guys.